yo guys, welcome back, or welcome to Not Awake ASMR. So, guys, in today's video, I have it's basically a mic cover testing. Basically, I'm gonna just take random items and tap on them, or just not even tap, just multiple sounds. And then I'm gonna go just do a little bit of whisper rambling about my week and talk about the UFC fight night that just happened this past weekend. And yeah, so let me show you guys the new mic covers. So I bought like a bunch of mic covers, like all different colors. Right now I got the red one. I will not lie, they're kind of small. It's a really tight fit, but I got it fit on there, so I guess that's all that matters. But here, let me get these down. Oh man. Alright, so here is the mic covers. Yeah. They're cool looking. I'll probably change it out every video, I think. There's that one. Here's one that fell out. Just a green one. It's cool. And then I've always seen these on every ASMR artist I've seen. You have this mic cover, so I bought it. It came in a pack together, so might as well try it. I always see the videos with when it says like bugs and stuff, and they're like picking through. So maybe I'll try that one on after I test the sounds with this mic cover. All right, so the first trigger, I guess, is gonna be just the plastic bag with all the mic covers in there. Maybe I'll squish on some of these mic covers anyway. Let me change the mic settings so it'll be like like all around. Alright, so I think it should be all around. That sounds pretty good to me, I think. I don't even really like trigger noises, so I'm not a big fan of them, but I think it sounds pretty good, so. Alright. For the next trigger, it's gonna be the plastic bag with all the mic covers in there. my videos are kind of quiet. I don't really know how to make them louder. Like the videos I see people have, they're usually pretty loud, so I don't really understand how they're getting it so loud like that. But maybe y'all like it quieter, I don't know. Oh, that's not good. Alright, the next trigger. What else do I have more plastic. I'm not gonna do that. That's a louder plastic. I can do some tapping on my phone case. I feel like that would be okay. So let me try that. I'm holding the mic, so maybe I won't be able to do it good. It's not too bad. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, it kind of feels weird to make noises like that. I'm not used to doing that. ASMR is kind of weird to make. It's not really something I'm used to doing. I don't mind whispering to the mic, but making the mouth sounds kind of weird. But if y'all like it, I'll keep doing it. Alright. So, I'm gonna be back. I'm gonna change this mic cover to the other one, the furry one. Alright, okay, I got this furry one on now. I'm gonna have to turn my mic up. I got this furry one. You know, it reminds me of like the Russian thing that the UFC white fighters wear. Like Khabib, he would wear this white furry thing, kind of looks like this. Every time I see it, it reminds me of that. Peter Yan, I'm pretty sure wears one, but yeah. So let me try a little bit of sounds with the same triggers on this and see what it sounds like. But let me actually rub it first. It kind of sounded good. You know, it kind of reminds me of like petting my dog, which I miss. I really want a dog. I miss my family dog. Well, it's basically my dad's. I mean, it is my dad's dog, basically, but like, it's the family dog. So even if I move ever back to America, I will never be able to take the dog with me because it is. Well, first of all, she's old as hell, and you know, I have a stepsister that basically lives with the dog every day, so I'm not gonna make her be alone. She deserves to live her final days at least with someone, you know, unfortunately. many subscribers that she's had now, but I've been subscribed to her for a long time. Actually, a lot of people as well. Like Maddie Tingles, I've been subscribed to him for like almost, I think, close to probably 10 years. It doesn't. I think I found out about ASMR in 2017, I believe. So one of the first ASMR artists the first ASMR artist I found was ASMR Darling, and then but she barely ever posts anymore. So I don't really keep up with her, and plus I don't really like her ASMR too much anymore, anyways. But she was good. She got me into the ASMR world, and then I found Maddie Tingles. I've always kind of liked the male voices. Like the men have like the deeper voices. They're more smoothing, I guess you could say. They're more relaxing to fall asleep to. Like, I don't really watch ASMR too much. I will watch it, but I don't watch it to go to sleep. I watch Let's Read. If you ever seen Let's Read, shout out to Let's Read. That channel's very good. It's just storytelling, but his voice is very smoothing. And even though the stories are kind of creepy, like it still just puts me right to sleep. But yeah, I've been watching ASMR for a long, long time now, and it really puts you to sleep. It does put you to sleep sometimes. Sometimes I do watch it to go to sleep, but most of the time not really anymore. One of my favorite ASMR artists right now is ASMR Beam. It's a girl. I've been subscribed to her for a little while. I've seen her channel. I can't remember who I saw it from. It was from someone did like subscribers to ASMR, and she was in the video. I'm pretty sure it was like ASMR Jade or something like that. Pretty sure. And I've been subscribed to her for a while. Like her main channel got deleted, and then she made a new channel, and now she's back on her main channel. So I've always kind of liked her ASMR, even though they're like, I don't really like tapping noises. I like just her rambles. I like her accent. Just makes the ASMR a lot better, the Australian accent, but that's just me. Tell me which mic cover you like better, this one or the other ones, but I'm not gonna really waste my time doing too many triggers. They all kind of sound the same with each one. This one I feel like sounds a little better because you can like pet it basically. That sounds nice. But I'm gonna switch it back to the green one, and yeah, I'll be back in a second. Alright guys, I got my other mic cover back on. And yeah, before I get into this UFC fight night, because I know a lot of people don't probably want to hear that part, maybe they do, but I'm gonna go just a little bit of rambling about my week. Nothing too crazy, honestly. I don't even really know what to talk about in my week, but my week's just been chill. Oh, I guess I can talk about my weekend, because it's only Monday today. My weekend, I didn't really do much. Yeah. What else? Oh yeah, look man, being in the military freaking sucks when it comes to living with other people, man. Look, I'm not the cleanest person ever. Like, my room is not like the most, clean. Like, I'm not a clean freak, but I do like living cleaner. Like, one thing about machines. We do get room inspections, but right now we're not getting them because all the people from my squadron are in Guam. Yeah. So there's only a certain amount of people here. There's not that many people here, so in the rooms. So me personally, I have my own trash in my room. I'll get trash bags and I'll just put my own trash in there because I don't feel like taking out other people's trash. Like, take care of your own trash. But in the barracks people, they give our rooms, the common area where the kitchen is, they give a trash can. And they have a fridge in there for everybody. But the thing is, they will fill the fucking trash can up. And fill it up and fill it up and fill it up. Until it gets overfilled. To the point where it just, it's just overfilled. But the thing is, like, my other roommate's been gone for basically a month, and this trash has been sitting in the room for over a month, right? For about a month. I mean, it's been overfilled for a month, and I wanted to go clean it out, man. I was getting tired of this shit, man, because, you know, the dryers, the lint from the clothes in the dryer keeps filling up like the lint collectors. So having to pick up after them and clean that shit out, it's just getting annoying. And then the trash, it's been sitting there for like a month. So I said, alright, I'm just gonna start digging some of this out. All the trash that was left on the side of the trash can, because they just left their trash there, I put that all in one big trash bag and I took it to the dumpster, right? And then I was gonna start working on the trash in the inside. I was hoping there was a bag. I get all the trash off the top of it, and I put it in the trash bag, and then I get to the actual inside, just to see there was no trash bag inside. Mind you, I've worked in a trash room before. On my old boat, I used to work in the trash room, so I've smelled some rotten ass food, and I tried to dig through through that trash, dude, and it smelled horrible. So I was like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this, because it was not my fault at all. Like, I don't even use that trash can. So I just left it for someone else, and then I guess someone realized that I took out a little bit of the trash, so they finished the rest of it. I don't know who did it, but thankfully they did, because it was starting to smell really bad. So I hate living with roommates. I don't like living here. They don't wash their dishes. They don't pick up after themselves. They leave their clothes in the dryers and the washers, and it's just annoying as hell. Just clean up after yourself. You're an adult. Yeah. That's basically how my last week went. There's not really much more to it. Yep. So, let me get into the UFC, the fight night. So, this fight night was in the O2 Arena in London. So, I did not watch hardly any of it. I watched the last 3 fights. That was it, because the main event started around 5 in the morning, and I'm not waking up that early to watch the UFC. I'm sorry. I do enjoy watching it, but a lot of the fights were lackluster, have been lackluster, so it's just I'm not gonna waste my time waking up to watch this. It wasn't even that big of a card, so honestly, I didn't really see much of it. I didn't really see that. I didn't really want to waste my time basically waking up to watch it, but I did wake up for the last 3 fights. The fight I started with was Michael Venom Page versus Patterson. I don't know his first name, but yeah, Patterson. defensive fight style, so he just tries to counter people, and if, it's just, he's very boring to watch. He was very good against people that weren't good. Now he's in the UFC, and all of his fights have been kind of shitty, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, there's not really much to say about that fight. All I can say is it was a very boring fight. It's a very, very boring fight. Honestly, I didn't even watch it. I kind of just went on my Instagram, like, I was watching it in the corner of my eye on my phone. Like, it was a smaller screen. It was just too boring. And that's why I don't wake up. The next fight I watched was the Luke Riley versus Aswell. I don't know Aswell's first name. I don't even know who that is. But, Luke Riley, from all the hype I've been hearing, he was supposed to be like some great prospect that was coming up into the UFC. Or I think he's been in the UFC, but, he's supposed to be a good prospect. He's not bad, but he lacks power. A lot of people knock out people earlier in their careers because they're fighting against, usually people that aren't professional, like actual professionals, it's like a hobby. So they look way better, and they get to the UFC, and then they just kind of suck. Or not suck, but they just don't look good. They can't get the finishes because they're fighting against people that do this shit full time. So that's what you see with a lot of these prospects. You're hyped to see them because, they look so good in these other little leagues that weren't as good as the UFC. And they get to the UFC and they fight these high level. Like, the UFC is supposed to be the best of the best. So even when you're at the lowest level in the UFC, you're supposed to still be, one of the best in the world. To even get in the organization. But I mean, that's not always the case, but that's how it's supposed to be. But yeah, he did, he's good at striking. He's not bad, but I don't really see him being much of a threat, honestly, especially since he has no power. He lacked the power, he hit him a lot, and he just could not get him done. The higher you go up in the rank, the harder it is going to be to, honestly KO someone or even, beat them badly. So if you're struggling against the lower names, I don't have much hope for you when you fight the bigger name, up the rankings. I don't even know what weight class he was in. I think he was in featherweight or bantamweight, one of those. Bantamweight and featherweight are both packed, so good luck with that. I don't really see Luke Riley being able to beat anybody in the top 5 in either organization or either division, my bad. And then, alright, for the next fight, or the last fight I watched was the Masvar versus Leroy Murphy. That was a very controversial fight. Watching that, I really thought that Leroy won. I'm not really biased going into that fight. I didn't really care who won. Like I said, it wasn't that big of a fight, like a card for me. So the main event it was good, but I didn't really care who won. So I had no bias going into the fight. I actually kind of wanted Masvar to lose at first because I thought he was going to do the wrestling approach. But he actually was standing basically the entire fight, so he was pretty good. Or he did pretty good, so I actually kind of ending up wanting him to win, which he did win, but it was very controversial. So a lot of people say that the first round was super close, but what I was watching, the first round was not that close. Leroy outstruck him significantly. So I don't really think that Masvar won the first round at all, to be honest. Second round, same thing. It was a lot closer in strikes, but I thought Leroy won the second round. The third round, this is where it gets really controversial. there. Yeah. So, but when they said, when they read the scorecards, in my head, I was like, I wanted Mosbar to win, but in my head, I thought he lost. I was like, oh, he's picking it up during these later rounds. But, he lost the point, and I thought he was down, so I didn't even think he won. I was like, oh, he didn't do enough. And then when they said he won, I was like, what the hell? Like, I was not expecting